copies of our testimony if anyone needs a copy for consideration. Some things have already been said, so I'm going to try to go a little quicker than what I have all written here. But I am the birth mother of Eli Watson over there, who was born about 2 years ago, December 15th. When he was born, we were asked to fill out his birth certificate, as you already heard. And in doing this, we realized, as you've now heard, that we couldn't put her name on the birth certificate. It was annoying, but we had no idea how big of a problem it would be. So, in not being able to fill out that form, the voluntary affidavit, basically we were treated differently. This form allows mothers and fathers to state that they are the parents. I'm going to skip around here because I'm trying to spare you guys, but you've clearly already heard. Here's a short version. I could have walked into that hospital room, given birth, picked up some guy off the street, paid him $50, have him be in the room with me, and said, "This is the guy." No one would have questioned it. It would have nothing to do with biology. That would have instantly been put on the birth certificate. And in doing so, he would have had rights that my own partner, a woman who I've known since I was 17 years old, who is the biological mother to this child that I carry, has no rights to it. But a man that I could ask to just step him off the street that I have literally no relationship with, I could say, I am in a straight relationship. This man, he's the father of this child. And the way this works, his name would be there. And from that birth certificate, the reason why it's such a big deal, now I know, is everything trickles down from that, okay? So your social security card, you name it, your rights come down from this one. Essentially, this one document is where it all begins, and if you don't have that right, you end up doing a lot of time, money, hiring people, backtracking, in order to try to get it right the second time. So on to our experience in June. So unfortunately, Rhode Island law has not been updated, as you've heard, in a while. We had chosen to work with the New England Cryogenics Center, having no idea what we were walking into. Two highly educated people who think they know what they're doing, who even contacted a lawyer before going into all this, created our own legal document. We are people who are fastidious and interested in doing it right the first time. We did not get it right the first time, and you will continue seeing our cases here probably every year for 3 years going until we get this right. Anyway, essentially what it came down to is, as you've heard, the sperm donors sign a contract. They sign away their rights when they donate sperm, and that is also the case with the sperm bank that we use. However, because of our outdated Rhode Island laws, we were required, when we went to family court, we were required to place an advertisement, as you can hear as an example, seeking the father of our child. And if it's not clear already, this child doesn't have a father. This father has 2 mothers and a donor. We nevertheless were required to post the following ad. It's short. I just want to read it to you so you have an example of exactly what has to be posted. And we had to pay for this. The father of a child born from sperm donated to New England Cryogenics Center. Any and all parties in interest. A case has been brought in Rhode Island Family Court to decide whether you have any parental rights to this child. If you do not appear at a hearing about this matter at the family court at such and such date, address, and time, it will be entered without your consent that you no longer have any rights to this child, and the child may be adopted. Okay, so that was posted on June 29th, 2017. And it was a long waiting game. Just This is just so you have an idea of a person's experience. It was extremely hard. On August 1st, we stood at the family court after waiting X amount of time after that ad had gone through. And that was the hardest part for me personally, is showing up that day. And the officer stepped out into the hallway, yelled really loudly, "Is anyone responding to our ad?" And we waited for too long. Extremely degrading minutes. And you know what, that might as well have been forever. We didn't know who saw the ad, we didn't know who would walk through the door, I mean, it was posted publicly, that's the point, right? So literally anyone could have seen that, walked in, claimed his parental rights to our child. I don't know if anyone here has any experience in the medical field, but we work with a lot of really interesting patients and people, and probably every field is the same like that. But knowing the amount of mental illness that runs rampant in society for a variety of reasons, and the idea of posting this thing for a reason that is not only unnecessary but irrelevant, and asking me to pay for that there's no end to the amount of wrong I feel about that. So there we were waiting in silence as our 2 minutes is going by, holding our then very little child, uncertain of who would lay claim to him, and I can't relay enough how much I've never known a fear like that. So, I consider us lucky. No one showed up that day.
Good.
Yeah. It was, worst case scenarios were only in my head. Our adoption went through that day, and I don't have to worry anymore. If something happens to me, who will have Eli? He officially has 2 names on his birth certificate. He legally has 2 moms because his birth certificate, this holy of holies piece of paper, says what it says. I happen to be a trauma ICU nurse. All I see is traumas and accidents all day long. The worst, imagine just constantly thinking, if something happened, if something happened to me, if something happened, what happens to him? Why don't I live in a state that makes it clearer? What are we doing here? So you get the idea. It's a really traumatizing experience to go through, and we have the resources to be able to do it. We are fortunate enough to have support systems between our 2 families and friends. We have the financial resources that we're able to take on this. And I know we are the exception to that rule of what is happening out there in our state. And I think that's the real crux of the issue. Essentially, Eli was born to one set of parents. And he was treated differently than a child who would have been born to a different set of parents in the state of Rhode Island. And if we just look at the goal of the bill, a process for married and unmarried parents to complete adoption, confirm the parentage, born in relationship with mutual intent. That has nothing to do with biology, genealogy, or genetics. It has to do with intent.
Thank you, Sarah. Anna, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Very nice. And any questions from anyone?
Yeah. I'd be happy to answer questions.